Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's stream. The sound is a little bit too loud in my earmuffs. There we go, I think that's better. Look at that. I hope that my hair is finally in place. This is the perfect length for my hair, so it stays in place, otherwise it keeps going forward. And I look like somebody who fought for the German side in 1942. Either way, we are playing the Ace Attorney Chronicles. I think this is, yeah. And we are stuck in part 2, almost part 3. I don't know why I said... Did I put part 4 in the stream announcement? Or the I think I did. Yeah, whoopsie poopsie. Well, never mind. That doesn't really matter. Today we will continue to move our ass to... think we were supposed to go over here? I don't remember where we actually left off. I did save it and then just left. 19th of February, Briar Road. This is just after Valentine's Day. It's time. We must hurry back to prison. Can I autoplay this? Oh. What's the matter? It looks like something's going on over here in front of the Garadep's house. The fuck is that? Is that a court jester? I know thee not, old man, fall to thy prayers. Who you calling, old man, you rum-looking niminy-piminy? What the fuck does that even mean? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than I dreamt of in your philosophy. Who's this Horatio fella, eh? What are you on about? Excuse me. What the? Who are you? I'm sorry, it just looked as though there might be some problem here. And my associate here, Mr. Ryu, is a lawyer, you see? Huh? A lawyer? What? If I can be of any assistance, I'd be happy to help. I'm from Japan, but I have studied English law. Fine, I'll be on my way for today, but you mark my words. This ain't over yet, and I have no idea what that pose is. Get thee to a nunnery. Do I look like a bloomin' nun to you? Let's go, hey Tony, how you doing? I don't know what this is, I don't know where the hell I am. Who the fuck are you? Why are you the court jester? Why are you wearing that fucking hair like that? I don't understand why they ever wore their hair like this back in like that. This is 1700s. I do hope that you're not injured. Oh, fair Eastern maiden. Thou art thou so gentle, thank you. What was that all about? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than I dreamt of in your philosophy. I'm not Horatio either. Forgive the inquiry, sir, but are you a lodger here, in the Garrett residence? Oh, fair Eastern maiden, thou art so right. Yes, I do dwell in this humble abode. Ah, this is the one that lives in the, I think on the first floor or something, because there were... the other dude that's currently in prison lived on like the lowest floor. This dude was probably living on the first floor, and then the boss lived on the second floor. Do you happen to know the other? Oh wait, wrong one. Do you know the happen other lodger who lives on the first floor? Oh, he lived on the first floor. Okay. Ah yes, a gentleman named Natsume. Oh, more worthy a polemist in my battle of words. Yeah, could be here. Could there be? What the fuck? Battle? Did you say? Who is the stronger, Hamlet or Macbeth? Mr. Natsume and I sparred long into the night. I see. I don't fully understand, but it seems Mr. Natsume and this gentleman are acquaintances at least. So, fair maiden. So good, gentlemen. I can't tarry I no longer. Fare thee well. I didn't really understand him, but I think he's returned to his room. It seems he's unaware of what happened to Mr. Natsume, so he can't really help us. Anyway, I'll go and find a carriage. Yeah, I'm sure Mr. Natsume is eagerly awaiting your return. Let's hope we can get to the prison before visiting hours are over. Okay. 19th of February, 6:31 p.m. This dude looks like he's seen ghosts by now. How was your week, Tony? Oh, it's you. You're here. You came. Welcome to the Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. I can't believe you came back. I'm so touched. I can't scream here, otherwise I'll get nags all over the place. We are so sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Natsume. Oh, no. Think of nothing. Relax. If I were a cat, I would purr with pleasure all the time of your company of such fine compatriots. Noble, nurturing, never failing Nipponese. The fuck? And now let's not get carried away. Oh, I quite agree. There's nothing more reassuring than the familiarity of a once native land. On the other hand, it is, though, friendship transcending international borders that one truly appreciates the fact. Such is my belief, at least. It's you! The miserable, rotten spy. Herlock Sholmes. Nah, I don't think he's German. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing here? I have no intention of doing anything per se. Save observing, of course. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Well, having encountered some curious reading material in that Gloomfall room, and having unmasked the secret identity of that eccentric pair, I decided I should drop in on my way home to see how our divested friend is faring. Gloomfall room. At least your accommodation here offers a window, my dear fellow. In that sense, it is the superior... Okay, so he's basically saying your house is so shitty, our jail cell's better. And let me see. Tony, my week was good, pretty stressful, but good. All the things my boss and I put into motion, we are not ready for. Lol, but not going well. What did you put into motion? So basically you're saying that you started things and you didn't realize that it would get so busy, I guess? Anyway, I must commend you on your taste in books. My day has been a delight and cost me not a penny. You... How dare you, Herlock Sholmes? He does have a temper. So maybe he did it in the very end. Now did it? I've had it. I'm through. I'm at the end of my rope. I should never have come to Great Britain. It was a terrible mistake. Haunted by spirits in those accursed lodgings, no doubt my luck will be cursed in tomorrow's trial as well. My whole life is bedamned. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruto? He mentioned that one before, didn't he? That his lodgings were cursed, I mean. And there's much truth in Mr. Mustache's words. What? Curse is a wholly appropriate description, I would say, for the man's lodgings and indeed for tomorrow's trial. What's that supposed to mean? I don't know. Tony. Hiring someone, fire someone else, moving from one office to another office, moving towers meaning internet equipment, and in between going to a number of different businesses and needing to buy and build 23 computers. Oh, so you've had your hands full with computers now, didn't you? Is that so, Tony? Is that so? Let's start with the curse trial. Mr. Natsume, what did you mean by what you said just now? About the trial tomorrow being cursed. Oh no, why are you looking so grave? You're making me nervous. I was just getting carried away, that's all. I didn't mean anything by it. Oh wait. Oh, I see. You don't mean the trial really is cursed tomorrow? Are you referring to the prosecutor, the Reaper of the Bailey? The Reaper? Oh no, what do you mean? Please, tell me. Summarize it succinctly in 16 salient words. No defendant has ever survived a trial on which the Reaper stands for the prosecution. Ever. Oh my goodness, can it really be true? That was 16 words exactly. Yesterday, Mr. Naruhodo successfully defended someone against the Reaper. But then, after the trial was over... yesterday, this like the last trial that was in episode 3 was like 6 months ago by now. So that's the defendant passed away in unusual circumstances. What? I'm impressed, Mr. Zato. You have an eye for detail. Actually, Lord Chief Justice just told us. Mr. Sholmes. Surely it can't be that having failed to have the accused convicted, Lord Van Zieks killed the man himself? Oh no, he couldn't have, surely. Maybe he's the final boss of this. You have some wonderful notions. I'm sorry? The man isn't a mass murderer, he's a court prosecutor, my dear fellow. What is the Holly? The Holly recap. Well, basically, there's 5 episodes to this in total. So we started off in Japan, and we're an aspiring lawyer, and yeah, we get our first case in Japan. Then we move into England. Something happens on the boat. Somebody dies, and you know, blah blah blah. Episode 3, is this episode 3? No, episode 3 is when you're in England and you're still aspiring to be a lawyer, but this time overseas, and then you get your first case assigned, and you actually convict. They wanted to convict the wrong person because they thought that he did it. He actually didn't do it, and in the end, it turns out to be the one. The assailant turns out to be the one, or the murderer turns out to be the one that you represent himself. But you get him declared a mistrial. In the very end, he does die by someone's hands. Probably the prosecutor that was on the opposing side killed him. That's what they're discussing now. And now we are stuck in... there was a woman killed, or a man, somebody was killed in the open in London. And the dude that's behind bars here is the one that they are trying to prosecute, and we are defending him, so we are trying to assure him that we're getting him out. Juicy deets, juicy deets. Then why are you trying to scare me? It could be said, however, that the real truth about the man is even more terrifying than your hypothesis. Oh, hiccups. What on earth do you mean by that? The Reaper. And the prosecutor's, I want to say maiden name, but the prosecutor's nickname is the Reaper. Because he prosecutes literally everybody and no one gets out alive. Van Zieks is quite an exceptional man. However, in London courts of law, exceptional does not equate to winning every case without exception. As you are no doubt aware, in a British criminal trial there's both a judge and a jury. The judge officiates based on the letter of law, whilst the jury offers public opinion and common sense. It is an excellent system, whereby the defendant's guilt is considered from several points of view. However, public opinion in particular is somewhat easily manipulated. Criminals and corrupt lawyers, for that matter, can use it to their advantage. By any means at their disposal, contriving evidence, calling imposters as witnesses, and so on. By such an underhand means, those who would want to be able to sway the jury, which means that even in the light of irrefutable evidence, the prosecution can fail. But it means that a wrong verdict can be passed. That's always something that's gonna happen. There's like no 100%... There's no 100% certainty that that is actually... everybody that you prosecute actually happens to be the real killer, the real rapist, whatever. And sadly, from time to time, my dear madam, it is simply the reality of the situation. Situation. There was no R in that, Holly. However, those indicted by Lord Van Zieks cannot escape justice. Their fate is sealed. Though the adjudication may seem them leave the courtroom with their freedom, within months they all disappear. It is most striking. But how? How do they disappear? By all manner of misfortunes, sir. Perhaps they are trampled under a passing carriage. Perhaps they fall into the Thames and drown. Perhaps they are suddenly overcome by a raging fever, or perhaps attacked by highwaymen. Oh, no. All examples of the reality of events here in London, I'm afraid, Mr. Naruto. Dude's corrupt as fuck. I knew it. A dead dodo, done for, doomed. Yeah. Sounds about right. When you said accursed lodging before, were you referring to your room? Do you mean to say that the place is cursed? It's been a year now since I came to Great Britain. But I'd only been in London for a week since I started to notice strange feelings in myself. That didn't take for long then. Everywhere I looked, there were foreign faces staring at me, laughing behind my back. I was sure people were talking about me. I started to become nervous going outside. They were always staring at me, all the time, from dawn till dusk. So I shut myself away in my room, but even that didn't help. The fear wouldn't go away. You must have been very lonely having been away from your homeland for such a long time. I've had to move a number of times, most recently to that room on Briar Road a week ago. Why is he dabbing though? Yes, why did you choose that? It seems a little inconvenient. The rent is cheap, I have so little money and it appealed to me straight away. Of course, I asked why it was so affordable. The landlord just simpered and said, "The room is cursed." Oops. He quickly tried to cover his mistake, but it was too late, so I told him, if you have something to say, then say it, but if not, don't mention it in the first place. Yeah, that sounds about right. Honestly, there's quite a lot of people who do that, you know. They start saying, did you know about this? Oh, I probably shouldn't have mentioned that now, should I? But when they do that, they just want you to know. But they're just like, oh, hey, did you know about him moving? And you know, they're gonna be like very nonchalant, like, probably shouldn't have mentioned that now, did I? Oh, but I'm doing it anyway. Much like my ex-fucking girlfriend, man. The room really is cursed then? Ever since I moved into that windowless hellhole, my sleep has been plagued with nightmares. I awake feeling as though I'm being choked to death. And in my waking hours, people are standing in front of me as I walk down the street. I'm branded as a killer. Thrown in prison. Nobody wants to know me. I'm surrounded by scary, sinister spirits. If only there was someone, just one person on my side. Can no one find it in his or her heart to believe me? Really no one at all. To believe? Yes, to believe. Mr. Sholmes. Pray, what can I do for you? It's about the case on the SS Buria, if you recall. The Buria. That case. The one with the snake. Well, yeah. At that time, I was the suspect, but you believed in me and listened to my side of the story. And you helped us to investigate. I did I? Interesting. What I want to know is why? Why did you believe me? I see, yes. You mean because you were a grimly dressed, shady Eastern fellow found with the victim in a locked room? Well, if you like, yes. I'm a little surprised that the answer requires explanation, my dear fellow. It's quite simple, really. You said I didn't do it. But I could have been lying. Surely you must have had your doubts. You must have suspected me a little. I think perhaps you have misunderstood. I neither recall believing in you, nor in that which you were telling me. What? You see, the only thing I believe in are those I choose to believe in. Dab. What do you mean? I make up my own mind about what is to believe and what is not. If I should like to believe in something, I do. The circumstances hang as far as I am concerned. But I could have betrayed your trust. In that case, I should have made an elementary error of judgment, nothing more. Betrayal of trust is an overused excuse, in my opinion. Meaning? Whether or not one should trust another is the final analysis, down to oneself. It is a matter of whether or not one can trust oneself. Yes, he's right. He's right. Locum soon with Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I'm gonna fucking kill myself once I get out of this. Whether or not I can believe in myself. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his clients. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. Yeah, you don't have any faith in yourself, how can you have faith in anyone else? Ah. Well, my dear fellows, it is time we were leaving, I believe. Already? Visiting hours are over. The guard will be here shortly to escort us out. There's a restaurant near here that serves excellent trout. Would you care to join me? Oh dear, there's never enough time, is there? Mr. Natsume, if you'd like to end the trial tomorrow, I'd be happy to represent you. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. As I said, I only experienced a British courtroom for the first time yesterday, and although the man I was representing was found not guilty, I lost sight of something crucial. Something crucial? What to believe in, the defendant, justice, or the truth. How to believe, even. But I think I finally worked it out. I've decided I must believe in myself above all else, to trust my instincts. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. And my instincts are telling me that you, Mr. Natsume, are innocent of this crime. It is imperative that we prove that in court. I will fight for your innocence until the bitter end with every weapon available to me. So I hope you'll permit me to represent you tomorrow. As I said when we first met, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who will listen to me in my native tongue. Of course, Mr. Natsume. It would be fair to say, Mr. Naruhodo, that your mind was in many ways made up from the outset. You merely needed the events of today to fully realize it. Yeah, I think you're right about that. It's been a roundabout journey, but I got here in the end. Mr. Sato, would you be willing to stand by my side tomorrow and help me in court? Maybe do a little kissy kissy smoochy smoochy? As I said this morning, you may consider me your personal judicial assistant. Very nice. The shocking events of yesterday's trial still weigh heavily on my mind. Kazuma believed in me, Mr. Sholmes believes in me too now. So it's time. Yeah. We're gonna go to the courtroom and then we're gonna do a little courty. Save your current? Yes, please. I believe we are now in... moving to part 3? Or, well, basically, it's called trial part 1? Alright. Alright. The antechamber. Alright. We are on a study tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. In order to research the latest court procedure here, we need as much court experience as possible. Well, yeah, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may well be his or her one and only time in court, and it could be life-changing. In which case, treating it as research may seem a little crass. I've never heard of that before. What the fuck does crass even mean? Oh, when you put it like that, you're quite right. Mr. Natsume, good morning. Oh dear, you're right. Your eyes are terribly bloodshot. The early bird catches the worm, as they say in Britain. Yeah, I've heard that expression. But I really don't want to catch a worm. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was so worried I couldn't catch a wink. And I'm absolutely exhausted as a result. Well, the thing is, you don't have to do anything, because I'm supposed to fucking represent you, so... Thank you for putting your faith in me today. I wish I had 9 lives. My whole future hangs in the balance. I'm too terrified to tremble. Because I can feel tremors in the floor. Wow. I can't do this. I can't take it. Although... Welcome to the Miss Naruhodo, Esquire. Yeah. I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked like the opening night of the opera. There were so many people. I had no idea my case was a notorious affair in London. Do you know why that be? Why that might be, Mrs. Atto? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I have no idea. So that all-knowing look on your face is just coincidence, then? Don't hide the truth from me. It's because of the Reaper, isn't it? Lord Van Zieks? Is that right, Mrs. Atto? I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning, and yes, Lord Van Zieks is on the front page of every one. I knew it. Sometimes after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday. Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? 12 days ago marked Lord Van Zieks' return in the courtroom after a very long hiatus. The trial of Magnus McGilded. What a harrowing experience that was. I believe that the parents made even greater waves in the capital than today's. But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country. Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon? For what appears to be a mundane murder? That's the question the papers are asking, and they're all speaking out fucking tired already. Mundane is the most significant saga of the century to some of us. I mean, no offense, Mr. Natsuma, but that is how the papers are describing it. Well, lest we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the reappearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity with the trial of 2 days ago. Yeah, I agree. Welcome to the Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. It's you. Me. Well, I suppose that's true. Both times it is you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper. Well, please, I don't rub shoulders with dead bringers. I'm afraid that there's really only one other explanation. It only can be one example. I call it bad luck. Oh yeah. Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented with a man with such frail fortune? Be at least by the least lucky lawyer alive. Well, let's not forget that it was you, Mr. Natsume, who asked me to come represent you. Yeah, it's true that I'm just a student new to London with little in the way of experience or skills or luck. But I promise you this. I will fight your corner until the bitter end, and I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume. Oh, benevolent locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You are not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your... Yeah, until he turns out to have been the killer in the very end. Oh, benevolent non-locum assistant, Miss... What the fuck? I am in your debt. I shall never forget this act of kindness. The court session is about to begin. Alright then, Mr. Natsume, it's time. Let's go. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm sorry that I keep fucking burping and whatever. I'm tired as shit for some reason. So I don't know how long this is gonna last. I'm feeling a little queasy. We gotta see what the crime. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. Aye. We're gonna have this problem again. The defense is ready, my lord. The Nipponese are truly fascinating breed. I'm sorry, what? Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago, a mere amateur. Do you have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance. Forgive me, but I do not believe arrogance is an appropriate description. After all, our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. Where does he keep that bottle of blood, wine, whatever? Very true. And a most fascinating, if dark trial it was too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted and his unfortunate violent end. Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are ready. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? I've seen this one. You never know when you might be on the luck, but I believe fair play. Well, I must warn you, I'd rather more ruthless than... okay. Oh well, not me. What you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving fellow. Isn't this the woman from the... Isn't this the maid from the Mr. Gary Depp's house? Like, isn't this the same? Exactly the same? What are we waiting for? Let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please, Lord Van Six. Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, the student is accused of a most sinister act. Damn, of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down a road. A knife. Look at the son of shot. Sachi is one of the dreadful Japanese. Damn the foreigners! Didn't quite get at me. Forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hollow chalice in this great chamber. Allow me to call as the third witness to the stand. Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in, please. Your name and occupation, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard. Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector? The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green. I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be? Yes, having been stabbed in the back by her attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been in comatose ever since. What, so if they don't even know who she is for sure? Comatose, I see. Is this because they don't have any ID cards back in the day, so she has to not be in comatose in order for her to be to answer the questions? I guess that's where we're going with here. Fortunately for the Eastern student, the charge will not be murder. Okay, elaborate on the details, Inspector. I could ask everyone to look at the street map. As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago, and around 5 in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Roads, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles. It had long since stopped moving as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back. Luckily, the young lady's life was spared and she currently is being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course. This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please. What of the weapon that was used? I have it here. It was removed from the victim's bag. Oh, they just kept it in. Ouch. That big thing is starting to make me scared to walk down the street now. Well, it's not really that big now, is it? This is just a stiletto. With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman. Even this cracked-looking Sasaki-san, I suppose. Yep. A common garden jackknife, I would say, rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence. The jackknife has been entered into the court records. Now then, what do we know about the motive? Money or valuables, I presume? From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it seems like she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have had anything much worth pinching, my lord. I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment towards the victim? I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, that defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim. Yes! If theft and grievance have been ruled out as the motive, what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have had for stabbing the young woman? Yet you're arresting the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way. Oh. It's kind of lagging. Hey, that's a very expensive wine bottle, you bitch. Pray forgive us the courtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery. Oh, for fuck's sake. Froze bottle, excuse me. But your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here. What? Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to the area to arrest the Nipponese student. As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. There was been a number of old books he'd just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems. It was just a matter of working out what the books belonged to, and we found the book to arrest him. Old books, you say? Yes, my lord. I have a photograph of the scene of the crime, taken immediately after the incident. What I don't really see is how she would actually... I mean, she's in comatose, but what actually is there in the middle of the bed? I mean, maybe a lung or something that she would have been stabbed. Yeah, could have been the heart, but I don't see any... Like... Depends on how deep the knife goes, right? If the knife's like this deep, then it could probably have been gone into the heart. I don't know. I will take the photograph print as evidence, please, Inspector. You Nipponese are spineless breeds. It's too cowardly to admit defeat. Isn't this game made by Japanese people? They are. If this is the case, then it's basically like, okay, the UK back in 1920 fucking hated the Japanese so much that it's just pure racism. Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Forgive me, Lord Van Six, but the defendant is not denying everything, as you put it. What are you doing, Mr. Sato? Do go on. Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruto? Well, now you mention it. Or if visited him in prison yesterday, he did tell us what it all happened. Yes. He saw it and then ran away. The defendant has done nothing more than admit that he fled the scene of the crime. That does not mean that he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back. There was nobody else there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. In other words, there's nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. A fact that the accused concedes. It seems that this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, counsel. Proceed, please. Yes, my lord. Nothing for it. I have to use the cross-examination to turn the tables here. It's our only chance. Unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good and there was no one else but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he just bought, he was on the way home. Hold it! The defendant apparently visited a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis. Yeah, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature. I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention. The bloke's room was stacked floor to the ceiling with those musty old books. Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector? Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid. The closest second-hand bookshop to the accused lodging is this place here, Bourbon Books. A little place on the corner of Barrier Road and Meersham Street. As it happens, the accused is currently living in lodgings to the other side of Briar Road, at the opposite end. Which means it doesn't take a genius to figure out what route he would have taken home. Something like this. Okay. Yeah, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop. Mr. Naruto, I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance. Yeah, I agree. The most important point that the inspector just made is probably the bookshop name? Inspector Gregson, may I ask you a favor? What? Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance. Maybe? Oh, well, you know, I mean, yes, it could be a very important clue. Very well, not that I can see it being of any great significance. But please revise your testimony accordingly, Inspector. What the fuck does sardonic even mean? What if I want to present? Can I examine this first? Yore books, there we have it.
Objection.
If I could just stop you right there, Inspector Gregson. I'm a busy man, you know. This is a receipt that we found missing in Natsume's room. It was issued on the day before the incident. Details of this purchase of 3 second-hand books. And you found it in Nika's room, did you? Yeah, but the point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop printed on it. Go on. This receipt was issued from a bookstore called Yore Books. Yore Books. Yeah, my lords. Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books. What? Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop? Yes, sir. Eurobooks is another second-hand bookshop, not far from Bourbon Books. I wonder where everyone is. I have no idea either. I was expecting... Maybe Esther's lurking in the background. I'm not entirely sure about that one. But I was expecting maybe 1 or 2 more people. There's not... Last time I did this, like last month, there were a shit ton of people who were willing to watch. And today, I guess not today. Yeah. You can't have everything, Tony. Unfortunately. But to be honest, it's a lot of dialogue. So you have to be stuck in this. And... It's gonna be a short one either way. It's gonna be a short one either way. I'm feeling kind of tired, and if there's no one or barely anyone, that I'm just focused on getting the shit done. It's hard to stream a game. Well, I like to stream a game like this, but the thing is, you get... It's not that you get bored per se. It's more as in what I'm doing right now is just it doesn't really have any interaction with you because I'm currently not playing the game. Because if I don't look at the game, I don't know what's going on anymore. And if I don't look at chat, I don't know what's going on there anymore. It's not hard to stream a game, but it's hard to interact with you or the others when you're playing this game. I mean, clicking start stream, fine with me. And that's why I'm saying it's... Oh, yeah, okay. It's such a small place, but I think the accused would have known about it. But in fact, that is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And this receipt proves it.
Objection.
What do you mean, objection? Yes, for what difference it makes. If ever a man purchases his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Are we gonna do objection? I disagree. I mean, after all... Thank you. Have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yes, he would almost certainly have passed the place where Mr. was. However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, Yore Books, it may very well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all. Could that be true? My, it rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility. Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir, what you just said? Absolutely. Absolutely could be right. And that's the biggest word that there is in a fucking trial. Could be. Where's the Eurobooks establishment? Well, obviously we looked into that. Turns out that Eurobooks is just down the next corner on Misham Street, going east. I see. And there you have it, as you can clearly see now. Oh. Oh, it's wine time, baby. My learned Nepalese friend is obviously intending to be a clown the way he regales. I do have the clown nose somewhere here, but I don't have it right now. To your future career in the circus. Oh, for fuck's sake. You put that glass down now, I'll put you down. Okay. I didn't think I need to spell it out, but here we go. If the accused was coming home from your books instead of bourbon books, then yeah, but the thing is, going through Calabash Road would have had the same length probably. So you can still make the lapse of judgment here that he could have gone from Meersham to Briar Road, or from Calabash to wherever the south is. Allow me to reiterate from I learned. Is somewhat slow and Nipponese friend. Well, damn. Wherever the man purchases his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. We mustn't give up. What do you mean? If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsuma is guilty. She's absolutely right. We must think. We must consider the assessment very carefully. Let's raise an objection here. The assessment just made but is fundamentally flawed. Oh. Explain yourself, counsel. Yes, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from Yuri Books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsuma could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only receivable road to take between those two places. Exactly. But judging by the fact that the road to the south has no name, it probably isn't the case. So, if the defendant used these streets, look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked. Socking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that that route is the long way around. Yeah, true. But maybe somebody wants to do that. I sometimes take the long way around. Sometimes because it's scary, and sometimes because it's the short route is scary. Or you know, so there is a park nearby where I live, and I usually don't like to go through that park because of all the bullshit that might occur in the park. It's not that it is occurring; it's that it might occur. You know, it's dark as shit. And I don't like that one bit. On a cold winter night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home? Well, the answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings, and yes, he is the obvious perpetrator. Well, that's the thing. There's multiple people that could have been, but obviously we must ask the man himself. He claims that he has no recollection. That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside and wandering aimlessly from point A to B. That day was no exception. He doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home. I don't believe this. I thank you, my learned friend, and suggest that we do not waste any more time of the court's time by wandering around aimlessly. Pray, what say you, unsatisfied jurors? But even if that is the case, the defense still. I agree with Lord Van Six wholeheartedly and in every way. What? I don't believe it. Does this mean... Very well. In that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
Well, damn. It would appear the jury is leaning as unanimous. To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably. Yeah, we can still pit them against one another, right? We can still be like, hey... So, one last chance. I have to tip the balance of those skills the other way. I have to turn this around somehow. Those are the eyes of Kawari not willing to give up and die. So I presume your intent to wield your rights against in this trial? The rights of the defense written into acquainted British law that should have been buried long ago? Call it acquainted if you will. Antiquated, whatever. But if the defense prerogative to carry out a summon examination if it so chooses. Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with the summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? I'm also familiar with the Nipponese whippersnapper. That little Nipponese oddity already admitted himself, didn't he? If he said that a woman in green collapsed before his eyes, why can it be? It can only have been... Yeah. The man wouldn't have gone around the house on his way back from the bookshop, not in winter. The poor woman was attacked from behind. Was she? How dreadful. I really don't care. Can we just wrap this up now? I've got work to be doing. Your books, yes. Nice shop, Dad. But bourbon books? No, not worth a visit. With only minor exceptions, the reasons for finding the defendant guilty are all too clear. Events have been secured. The only two people at the scene of the victim were the only seem of the crime were the victim and the accused. And the accused himself has admitted to seeing the victim in her green overcoat sink to the ground before his eyes. Furthermore, we have heard from the inspector that the defendant fled the scene. I must say, I would have ample grounds to convict this man already. Even the judge appears to be convinced. How are we supposed to believe in some phantom attacker that nobody could see? So busy, Ali. This is one of the less busy streams, Rick. Last month, this was one of the better streams. Now it's not. I don't know. But people are rewatching this on YouTube, so this is fine. This is impossible. How can I possibly make a case of this defense? This is no time for grumbling. If we want to force the trial, I think it's just... No. The thing is, Sunday is either it's 50-50. Either everybody's here or nobody's here. Last week, I think there were 6 people in total. I mean, RDF was here. Naomi was here. I don't think Josh was it. Tony, you were here as well. Rick came by for just a small minute. Esther was here, so there were a ton of people then. After turn the tide. Yep. We have no choice but to forge forward. Oh, for fuck's sake, there's so much talking. So you have the floor council. Begin your summon examination. Okay, how about we do this next time? Because there's not really anyone watching right now anyway. Or not really anyone who thinks this is worthwhile watching. So how about we just call it a day? I mean, it's been a little bit over 1 hour, but I said this was going to be a short one either way. Can I just fucking... How do I do this? Can I just save already? Yes, we can. Thank God. All right. And Denise is sick as well now. Hooray for the sickies. Either way, people, thank you so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, leave a like if you enjoyed. I'm sorry that this is a shorter stream, but I think last week was like a 2-hour stream or something. And yeah, either way, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment if you haven't yet. Also subscribe if you haven't yet. And I will see you all again next time. Bye bye.